This is John Locke, and today we're going to talk about reasons why your competitor with an inferior product or inferior service is outranking you. Now, this is a complaint that I hear a lot from business owners, especially ones who have not done a lot of digital marketing. Why is my competitor with this crappy product or this horrible service ranking above us? I can't understand it. Their service sucks, their product sucks, but they're outranking us. Well, the fact of the matter is Google needs to see proof online that your site deserves to rank above your competitors. Now, if you have a great reputation, but it's all word of mouth and none of that is evidenced online, if there's no people talking about your brand in a positive light online, but they're talking about your competitors, then that competitor is going to outrank you. I'm going to break it down bit by bit what I mean by that. So there's signals that Google looks for, because search engines need signals that are online in order to make their algorithm work and decide what is going to rank above one site above another. So I look at it like this. There's a few things. What are the metrics that Google can use to determine whether one product is better than another, or one brand, one company, one service is better than another? One thing that they're going to use is links. So links from sites that are closely related to yours. Now, let's say, just for the sake of example, that you're a construction company and you're competing against 5 or 6 other major construction companies in your town. What are places that Google would expect to see links coming in from other sites to your site? They might expect to see things, you know, if you're a smaller contractor, it might be something like Home Advisor or Angie's List. If you're a larger contractor, then you might be listed on some other sites that deal with industrial equipment or construction, just listings of construction sites. So if you're not in any of those construction directories or mentioned on those industry-specific sites, if you're not linked to anywhere in a forum like Contractor Talk, then you might not rank above your competitors who have those types of links, or are involved in their local chamber of commerce, or have industry-specific links. So that's one way that Google looks at it. Similarly, if you're selling industrial equipment, you're going to want to be listed in places like ThomasNet, Zycon, McRae's, to name a few, but you're also probably going to be mentioned somewhere in forums that talk about industrial products or industrial use. So that's one thing to think about. So anyway, sorry about that. That's one thing, links. Another thing is unlinked brand mentions, what we call brand citations, brand mentions. So this is mentions of your brand, your company online, but they're not links, they're just mentions of your company. So these might happen on different websites as well. People don't link it, but they're talking about your company in a positive light. So those things can be an indicator to Google that you should be higher up in rankings. The third thing would be social mentions. So if your site is getting linked from Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, if people are sharing, specifically if people are sharing product pages or service pages or pages from your site that are informational on those services, then that's an indicator to Google that people are finding value in pages on your site. If you have an informational article and that's getting shared on Twitter, if it's getting shared on LinkedIn, then that's an indication that people are getting value from your site. If you have interesting images and they're getting shared on Instagram or Pinterest, that's an indication that people are getting value from your website. If a lot of people are sharing pages from your website on Facebook, that's an indication. So social activity in the means of other people doing it on your behalf is an indication of quality. Another thing that could happen as well is brand reputation, reviews. Now, you might have the best service in town, you might have the best product on the market, but if nobody is leaving product reviews on your website, if they're not leaving Google reviews, if they're not leaving reviews of your products anywhere, then you're going to get outranked by your competitors that have those. Also, brand sentiment. If people are talking about you in forums in a negative way, or not talking about you at all, but they're talking about your competitors in a positive way, like saying like, I was very happy with their product or their service, and this is mentioned on websites, not just social, but on forums, on other people's websites where they're mentioning it. That's a positive thing, and Google is going to pick up on that. Now, if you're dealing with local SEO, the 3 things that I would advise you to do, and I've repeated this many times, but it bears repeating again, you need to get Google reviews, Yelp reviews, and then any industry-specific reviews. So if you're a small contractor, handyman, you're going to want to get reviews on things like Angie's List and Home Advisor. If you are a doctor, you're going to want to get reviews on health grades that are positive. If you're an attorney, Avo is a great place to get reviews. Anything that's industry specific, that's where you need to look. For web design, you want to get on Clutch.co, UpCity. Those would be places to get reviews. So any positive sentiment around your brand. The thing to remember is Google's algorithm deals with things that are online, so it needs online evidence in order to move you up the ranks. So links, reviews, brand mentions, positive sentiment around your brand. If other people have negative sentiment around their brand, meaning that people leave reviews or they leave comments on other websites where it says things like, this person was rude when they picked up the phone, I got terrible customer service, the products fell apart as soon as I got them home, the service was horrible, sloppy, unprofessional, those sorts of things. After a while, those things will build up and Google might not recommend those places as much. But overall, if you're doing those things and you're still not moving, I think you need to look at getting more links from industry-specific sites. So websites that are closely related to yours, getting links. That's right. So anyway, this is John Locke for Lockdown Design and SEO. If you have an SEO question that you'd like to see us answer, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. We'll answer it out in a future video. We're putting out videos every week, so be sure to check them out. Until next time, peace.